Babes, I'm perplexed. I've been looking at this chapter for a minute. We're going to go through it pretty quick because there's a lot of important stuff, but I think there's a reason there's a break. There's a lot to digest here. So let's do our best to digest. One of the best chapter names that I've seen in recent time, The Wings of Icarus, because Icarus flew too close to the sun and was burned, and that comes up later when he's talking about the Mother Flame, Vegapunk in my meaning. He's basically narrating this entire chapter, and once again, this is the two places that we've seen the most during this whole world like kind of saga where we check in on places that we've been before. We see Water 7 in almost every single one of these. In almost every single one, we see Water 7 in some way, shape, or form. And I think that that's on purpose. I even went back and looked at when the water level was rising because we're starting to get more. We see the Mother Flame for the first time, but we're starting to get more. I'll save it till the end, but Navy headquarters and Water 7 keep coming up. Now, it looks like in the first page at Navy HQ, it looks like Sakazuki kind of knows about this, that he's kind of in the know of everything that's happening, that the world sinking doesn't really shock him all that much. He seems to be very much in the know. I hate to say that he's scared because he seems to be chilling up at Mary Joie a lot of the time, but I'll leave it at that. I love Dofi and Magellan's interaction about them, talking about how the levels are rising in Impel Down in an already underwater prison. And Dofi is just having a hell of a time with all of this. He's like, even though I'm in prison, I'm loving all this. He's still getting all the knowledge. He knows a ton as a former Celestial Dragon kid, but he's like, we got to go high up. It sounds like he already knows stuff, and he's not really too scared to share it, especially at this point, but it's interesting. But even the people down in Ryuga Kingdom are like, that's not going to happen. Like, there's no way. But all in all the Goro Sei are like, dude, we got to shut this guy up. Like, we need to destroy all life forms that are here. And then Vegapunk with the call out of call outs. I don't know how he calls this out. I don't know. I think part of the reason was the connection between the Mother Flame, because I had to go back and check. I was like, okay, like, what are we doing with this Mother Flame? I remember it was used around the time Sabo was going to get hit, and they were like, let's try this out, but what exactly is it? And he says, if this doesn't happen, if there's not an earthquake, if there's not the day before this happens, or today, whichever one it was, he's like, disregard this entire message. But he calls it out, and people know that because this is a recording. This isn't something that's happening live. He's not streaming. He's just like, this is something that happened. And if it doesn't, and even fucking Aokiji's like, oh shit. They even throw back to the guy on the stilts, which I love. But I went back and I checked, and every single north, east, west, and south blue have all risen 1 meter, 3 feet. I mean, that's quite a lot in the One Piece world. Another thing, Brook, Nami, I always forget their names. One of the Stellas, fucking Chopper and Robin are cooking. Usopp as well. Cooking Saturn. Saturn's taking hits, and there's one panel especially where Nami is in there not giving a shit. I know they're protecting Robin and stuff, but this is a bad look. Garcia is looking worse and worse. But we know that these people have kind of like risen, but the fact that Robin's not in here in her demon form, it's like, damn, dude, like Zeus is doing that much damage to you, and it is. Look at his head. Look at his head in some of those panels. Does it matter long term? No. But he's taking some hits. But he decides he's like, no, I got to go do something more important. And in killing Vegapunk, we don't need you anymore because the Mother Flame has proven to work. It's proven to work. Now, I don't understand how they had it there. I don't know if he sent the channeled energy there or if they had a prototype and this is the actual version when they used it on the Lucia Kingdom. But I think part of the reason why they're all right killing Vegapunk is because this is all they wanted. It's time for another void. It's time to cut everybody else out, to flood the world once again, which we've seen evidence of in the Wano Kingdom, Eni's Lobby, just kind of that whole area. It seems like there's evidence, just the Eni's Lobby hole, Impel Down being underwater. There's a lot of evidence of the world having sunk before. Zoe as well, and then on top of everything, the Ryuga Kingdom, of course. But he skips past them, he heals up, and he goes and he's like, we need this Mother Flame. And it looks like he's destroying everything, and he's going to try to transfer it somehow. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but this is of the utmost importance. They need the Mother Flame so that they can use whatever it is, which I'm going to get to at the end, again, more frequently. And he's like, I flew too close to the sun, and he knows that it was a problem. So he's like, all right, it's time to tell a story. Another kind of big deal is, one, like I called out many times before, he's going to be talking about the Void Century. And it seems like Emu's not super worried because he's like, well, I know he doesn't have all the facts, but I think he's doubting this man's genius. I think this man is going to say a decent amount of what he wants to say. There's no way it's all. I don't know how they're going to get him, but beside the point, he's gonna let loose and say everything that he wants to. We see Saul chilling, laughing, listening in to what exactly is going on there, and him playing his part in that is also very interesting as well. Orangetown for no reason. Shoutouts to Cho, dude. Fucking love that dog. But he talks about how the poneglyphs are telling us something about that history, something that's going on there. Now, another shout out to Edison, Stella's name, I guess, that I do remember, turning the wheel, moving the clouds so that the Sunny will be able to make it to the sea, because he's like, please don't get caught. Because regardless of everything, with him having those brains, it seems like he knows that at the end of the day, the government will capture them. They will wear them down, and eventually that'll just happen. There was something else with the giant, like, not taking any hits. Like, they're like, nothing we're doing is working on this thing. Like, he's just on the move. Not really sure where, for what purpose, but that's what he's doing. And then it just kind of ends with Broggy and Dory laughing as Luffy's getting hurt in Gear 5. So he transferred from 4 back to 5, which already seems like an improvement in use of his power. But he's hurting. He's hurting. I don't know if it's the fire. I think it's the hardness of the boar. But I'm like, how is Gear 5 getting hurt by physical attacks? Like, that should be something that's not happening at all. And that's kind of the chapter. But to go back to what I'm saying. So it was tough to find too, because I'm like, when did the water levels rise and when did they hit Lelouch Kingdom and why did that happen after? Sabo sees something very black in the sky before it is struck, with some divine power. Now, what that divine power is, I don't think is super important, but we do know that the Mother Flame was used, and we do know that, and something else that I found interesting, is they said that the egghead issue is actually not as important as Sabo at the time. So Sabo seeing Emu, or at least like getting a glimpse of what that is of the utmost importance. It's more important than Vegapunk. It's more important than Nika. Him just seeing Emu is something they got to take out. Knowing that somebody sits on that throne is a bigger threat to them than anything else. It's a bigger threat than Nika, because if they get the people in the world around them, like the revolutionaries, which is not good, which they failed. So the Goro Sei is just failing everywhere, because Nika's going to escape. I think they will get the Mother Flame, and they will kill Vegapunk, which is good, and they will stop his message, but the message is going to be enough for a buzz to kind of surge through the world. But then the damage, I don't know, like, once they get their hands on the Mother Flame, who knows what's possible. We think, here's what we think. We think that Pluton is Vivi. That was another thing, is he was like, retrieve Vivi. Those are his 2 commands. Destroy Lelouch because Sabo's on there and I want to test this shit out, but more because Sabo's on there. And 2, retrieve Vivi, which is who we kind of believe to be Pluton, right? I mean, at this point, that's kind of what we think. We see it with Poseidon, because I think it's all but confirmed. Has it been confirmed? I don't think so, but it's been all but confirmed that Shirahoshi is Poseidon. She's able to summon Neptunians, Sea Kings. She's able to do that with tears, with whatever. That's her ability. We don't really know what Vivi's ability is. It's kind of tough to say that she's the one doing the dark black object in the sky, because she wouldn't really be conscious of that. But maybe because her dad's died. It's tough to say. It's tough to say exactly what that is. Pluton is the machine. Pluton is the machine that I believe, and I'll talk about that next week. And I waited 1 week to make it, because I almost made the video talking about how Iceberg is building this thing, but I was like, they're going to give me more in this next chapter, and they did. But that's Pluton. Pluton is this weapon of mass destruction, which kind of sounds like what's in the sky. But then there's also Vivi, which, excuse me, I misspoke. She's not Pluton. She has the possibility of being Uranus. And if she's Uranus, why they want her and what she's capable of, I don't know. But they're probably going to end up getting their hands on her anyway. It's a lot. It's a lot. The Mother Flame being able to power whatever this object is, I don't know. And I think I went back and I read what the revolutionaries had to say about it, and I kind of agree. I wanted to come to you right now, and I'm changing it on the spot. I wanted to say that this is an ancient weapon, but it's not. But it's not an ancient weapon, because I think Vivi is Uranus, I think Shirahoshi is Poseidon, and I think that Iceberg is building Pluton. I think he's building Pluton. I think he's building Pluton. So I don't know what's in the sky. You could say it's Pluton, but I don't think so. I don't think it is. Because even the Goro Sei, and I just read Water 7, said that unless we get our hands on it, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. And if they don't have the blueprints, then it doesn't matter. Because they don't have it, they can't build it. So then, the Queen of the Kamabaka Kingdom, Ivankov, is like, well, it's got to be an ancient weapon. Like, this ties back to everything Robin was telling us and the poneglyphs and what we've learned, so that has to be an ancient weapon. And then I think it's Dragon who brings up, he's like, but then why would they wait this long to use it? And I don't know. And then does it have a connection with Emu's powers? I don't know. What the fuck is that thing in the sky? I hope you guys know, because I really don't. I don't know. It also kind of seems, another thought that I had while reading this chapter is I was like, dude, Emu is just straight up an earthbender. He's able to just raise what he wants to raise out of the water with the importance that it has to the world. But I don't think he has that much power. And I think that all the ancient weapons, this thing that they're using the Mother Flame for, is all backup. I think whatever Emu-sama is capable of is the real deal. So I guess at the end of the day, I think whatever's in the sky, whatever object that was, is being controlled by Emu, but he needs the power. It's tough. I don't know how to connect the dots. There's a lot of dots here. I hope I gave you some, like it's your brain churning so you could tell me, because I don't know. Great chapter. I'm excited to see. It all connects. It all fucking connects. But the Mother Flame is going to be a big problem for the world. And once the world begins to sink, like Vegapunk's calling out, like he called out there was going to be an earthquake, it's not going to be good. The end of One Piece is here. I hope you're enjoying it, because I am. And I'll catch you next week. Bye.